$4,709 for your suppressor? How about for a short-barreled rifle? That's what was just introduced by Chris Murphy. In this video, I'm going to show you why that is the ultimate admission of weakness, because they are terrified of what's coming. This is much deeper than just the how dare he. This is the why are they doing it. And when I show you why they're doing it right now, you're going to love every second of it, because we are on the precipice of moving this ball beyond their reach. Now, of course, everything that I've got for you guys right now is linked in the description box below. I bring the receipts every single time so you can check my work. And please, the YouTube algorithm is playing that game where they just delete people randomly. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and leave some emojis somewhere so that you can make sure that you tell the algorithm that you will not have it. Not this day, not ever. All right, let's get into this. So we're going to go over to my X profile at Braden LOA. Make sure you follow me. I'm going to dive into all of these tabs we have, but before we do, I've got to say a sponsor for our show, Aura, and then we're going to hit it. Today, I want to talk to you through our sponsor, Aura. Now, this is an identity theft solution, and I want to tell you an example that happened to me personally and my wife. Now, she bought gas like every one of us does on a daily basis and used her credit card. That number was skimmed and stolen, and we would not have known that some criminal shyster on the internet was using our individual number and money to buy incremental purchases at random places across the United States very subtly and sneakily. And that's where Aura comes in. There's a link in the description box below to get your free 2-week trial, but let me show you some of the benefits they're offering. They offer data broker opt-out. It will help remove your personal information from data brokers, and Aura will make sure that they cannot sell your information to identity thieves. It's got identity theft protection and monitors your credit file and your social security number. There's financial fraud protection. You can get alerted in minutes when your credit file has been compromised. I'm not leaving my family and those that I love vulnerable to these types of thieves, so neither do you. Go to aura.com/Langley. There's a link in the description box below and start your free 2-week trial to get in front of these shysters, and that's enough time to figure out if there's something going on with your profile. Link right in the description. All right, we're back. We're diving in. Okay, guys, listen. I've got to be extremely candid with you guys. We're going to freaking win this. Hear me on that. If you hear nothing else, we're going to win this. And you know why we're going to win this? Because the people watching this have the knowledge, have the experience, and have the drive and the patriotism to see it through to that next generation. And the next generation is ripe for coming in and reinforcing and giving all the people that we need. Look at this. Gen Z, political affiliation in men, Republicans, 52%, a plus 18% advantage Republican. Guys, I'm telling you, I am closer to this generation than a bunch of other people are just on sheer age. The vibe that is coming from the next generation, the Gen Zs, and the resistance to the control and the desire for that a little bit more counterculture freedom side is strong. And that's why we're going to win this, because the reinforcements are coming up through the ranks, and we are sitting here watching our opponents flail in the splashes of anxiety and desperation. All right, check this out. We're going to dive into this whole $4,700 thing. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing. All right. As I get into this, you have to understand a few things and keep this in mind while we go through. Common use, suppressor distribution, short barrel rifle distribution, and common use again. All right, watch this. Brady united against gun violence. Thank you, Chris Murphy from Connecticut, for introducing this critical amendment to strike the provision in the big ugly bill that removed taxes on deadly silencers, and other uniquely lethal weapons, and instead adjust taxes to reflect inflation today. Oh, you got us. All right. So here's the backstory on this, and there's a little bit of blackpilling going on around this, and I genuinely don't understand the blackpilling for one simple reason. People are upset that a gun controller is going to gun control is kind of like being upset at a fish for swimming. I mean, like it's like being surprised the fish is wet. Gun controllers are going to gun control. It's their party platform. It's their shtick. It's where their money comes from for their campaigns. They're going to do it. It's not a they shouldn't do it. Nope, they're going to do it. We need to get past the whole surprise that they're doing it and get into the we're going to beat them even though they're doing it. Like, there is no benefit to being surprised that assholes are going to asshole. I mean, like, legitimately. We all know it. We all know those people in our lives. This is a normal thing. Okay. Right now, it has a snowball's chance in hell of going anywhere for 3.5 to 4 years. We know that. That's not going to happen right now. That's why I don't do the big bills of videos that are fear porn around. Oh my God, tremendously crazy thing introduced when there's no threat of it. Zero, nothing happening. But it speaks to something else, guys, and that's the important piece. The reason that it's $4,700 is because they want to make it into this, we adjusted it for inflation and we're going to put it back to where it should be and all this kind of crap, because they're pissed that it got down to zero, which means more people will flood into the market on ownership of suppressors over the next 3 to 3.5 years in short-barreled rifles, because now they've lowered the threshold of finance, and it's going to be common use just like ARs. And that's before we even get into the lawsuits. I'm going to show you all of it right now. Check this out from NAGR. Democrats have put forth an amendment to the appropriations bill to raise the NFA tax to $4,700 or $47 and $9. Oh my gosh, $4,700 and okay, wow, words, $4,709. See, I can do it. While unlikely to make it through a Republican majority, not unlikely, impossible. This is a threat that cannot be taken lightly. Very true. I'm going to hit all this in a second. Gun grabbers have fully committed to pricing you out of your rights. That is 100% valid statement. I hit it all the time on this channel. You've got the different licensing requirements, the training requirements, the fingerprinting requirements in blue bastion states where they literally price people out of their rights. You can get them, you just have to pay for them, which are their rights, which is wrong, it's unconstitutional, and it's immoral. But they do it. That's what they do. It's active. Again, see fish being wet. But this piece right here, a threat that cannot be taken lightly. That's true. It can't be taken lightly. But you have to understand not only the threat, but you have to understand why they're doing it. That's the reason that he did this exact same thing, Chris Murphy that is, when they were passing the reconciliation bill, when he tried to raise the bill from $0 to $1, because they wanted to maintain the registry, because they saw a vulnerability in the NRA and the GOA and the FPC and SAF and NAGR's movements against the whole NFA right here. And I'm going to show you the language. But they have identified that there is a valid problem with their gun control model through taxation. If there's no tax on the actual tax, it can't be a tax, which means they can't actually enforce the NFA because the entire thing is based on a tax when there's no tax collected. It is an unconstitutional action, which is why NRA has one lawsuit going in their direction, and then GOA has another partnership. They're both coalition lawsuits going in different directions, different circuit courts. That's the entire point behind this. Don't look at this for the outrage of how dare they infringe. They're going to infringe. It's not a question. Again, fish being wet. Look at it for why they're doing it. It's the same reason that they tried to get the amendment into the one big beautiful bill for a $1 tax, because if it was $1, they were still collecting a tax, and therefore they couldn't get sued and the NFA wouldn't die. Now it's a $0 tax and they're trying to rush it to get it back in, but now they're just trying to adjust it for inflation for funsies. That's what you're looking at right here. This is made from a position of weakness. This is not made from a position of strength. You have to understand what they're trying to accomplish and all the chess pieces on the board. I'm not telling you they're not going to do this again if they take the presidency in 2028. They're probably going to try. But the fact that they're doing it shows there is a vulnerability and a weakness. Now let me show you the actual language here. As you can see, GOA posted about it as well. Everyone's posting about it. Let me dive in right down here into this little amendment they put. Increase in transfer and manufacturing taxes for firearm regulation under the National Firearms Act. As you can see, it's a transfer tax. There shall be levied, collected, and paid on firearms transferred a tax at the rate of $4,709 for each firearm transferred. Funny how it's not a tax, but now they can adjust the tax. Anyway, by striking $200 down to zero, striking 0 to 55, then they're going to do it every 90 days after enactment. It's the same language as you've seen in other things. But the big point here is you have to look at what they're actually doing. Yes, it's an infringement all day long. Is it irritating? Yes. But again, I'm not going to get irritated at a fish for swimming. I'm just going to catch the fish. I'm going to fillet the fish, and then I'm going to eat the fish. And it's going to be delicious because we're going to win. Again, see the next generation coming along. That's why we're doing all the things that we're doing, focusing on changing the culture, to welcome these guys in, to take root and push this even further. Here's Andrew Clyde, which is another interesting piece to this. I actually didn't think that they were going to announce this quickly. Representative Andrew Clyde, the power to tax, the power to destroy. Absolutely correct and true. Congress must continue gutting the unconstitutional NFA in the next budget reconciliation bill, which is why the Senate parliamentarian needs to be fired ASAP. I am totally down with that. Let's go 100%. John Thune, do it. But if they're going after another reconciliation bill, this is going to be an interesting push for another one. We're going to see where it lands. I genuinely don't know yet. I guarantee you I will keep you updated because that first little push through was a hell of a thing. But that's what I've got for you guys right now. The main takeaway is I want you to understand we are winning. That's it. We're on the way. We are totally going in the right direction. If we win 51% of the time, just like a casino, we will win in the end, and we're winning more than 51% of the time. That's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope I landed that plane, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.